Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and it's time I got back to my summer book hauls. I told you last weekend that I was going to do my summer book hauls in 8 different segments and I did 4 of them last weekend, and so I need to show you the other 4. So for this video I will show you the middle grade books that I got. Now a few of these are for me to keep, but I actually got a pretty good stack that I plan to give away to new teachers who are trying to build their classroom libraries, and any that I can't find a home for in that respect I will put in our little free library. So I'll first show you the ones that I got for myself to read, and then of course once I read them I may not keep them, I may pass them on again to a teacher or to our little free library. I got this book by Karen Hess, The Time of Angels, A Time of Angels. She is the author of Out of the Dust, which is a Newbery winner that is written in verse, and it's a fantastic book about a girl in Oklahoma, so I wanted to give this one a try. Then I got the sequel to The Misadventures of Maud March. This is Maud March on the Run by Audrey Columbus, and Maud March is just a fun character. I didn't know there was a sequel, and I saw this at our library book sale a while back and decided to pick it up. Then The Great Unexpected by Sharon Creech. This was an author by. I had not heard of The Great Unexpected, but back when I first learned about Sharon Creech, I read all of her books that I could get my hands on, and it's been a while since I have read anything by her, except this year I went back and reread Love That Dog, because someone had also told me about Hate That Cat, and then when I was reading those, Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books told me about one called Replay that I had not read, and turns out it was one that was a little bit newer than, I mean, it wasn't out yet when I was reading Sharon Creech, and that's probably the case of this one as well. So I don't know anything about this, but it looks really interesting, and she's a great children's author. Then this is the only book from the Brian saga by Gary Paulson that I did not have. This is book 2, The River, and this is a really good book. So I've been collecting this series. I'm really hoping that my daughter Katie will read these at some point. If she doesn't, then I will probably pass them on to my sister's grandson Tate. I think he would enjoy the Brian saga. Then I picked up this book by Sid Fleischman because he's the author of The Whipping Boy, which is one of my favorite Newbery winners, and so I thought I would check this one out. I've recently read a couple of children's picture books that are by him that didn't impress me quite as much as The Whipping Boy, so we'll see what I think of this one. It's called Disappearing Act. And then I found this one by Paul Fleischman, who I believe is Sid Fleischman's son. Kat from Kat's Bookend was reading a book by Paul Fleischman. I don't think it was this one, although it might have been. Saturnalia is the name. I don't know anything about it, but it looks kind of creepy, and so I thought I'd give it a try. I'm not really into creepy books, but I don't even know when I'm going to read this, but I thought that I would just take a look at it. Okay, so those are all of the books that I got for myself. Now, this stack of books are, I believe they are all books that I have read before that I would recommend, and they are books that I thought would, any of these books would be great in a middle school classroom. So I got Julie of the Wolves by Jean Craighead George. This is a Newbery winner. Then I got Peter and the Starcatchers by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. This is a Peter Pan retelling. It's the first in a series. It's wonderful. I got a Carl Hiaasen book. He's got 4 or 5 middle grade books. They're all fantastic. This one is called Scat. All of his books have an environmental theme, and this one is about a Florida panther. Then I got 2 copies of Out of the Dust by Karen Hess. I mentioned it earlier in the video. She is a Newbery winning author for this book. It's a fantastic book. And I got 2 copies of One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. I first learned about this book and this series from ACOS, and I have read this book. I thought it was great. It has also won a couple of awards. I think it's a Newbery Honor book, and it won the Coretta Scott King Award, and it's got 2 more books in the series, and I have not read those, but I have read this, and I think it's really good. Then another book I've read, also a Newbery winner. Can you see a trend here? I love Newbery winners. The ones I like, I really like, and I recommend them. Holes by Louis Sachar. You may have seen the movie Holes. If you've not read the book, then I highly recommend it. I think the movie is a little hard to understand unless you know all the backstories that are kind of hard to follow in the movie. But the book explains it all, and it's fantastic. Then another Sharon Creech book, Granny Torelli Makes Soup. I have read this. It's really cute. And another Sharon Creech. This is my favorite Sharon Creech, as I recall. One of the first ones, I think maybe the first Sharon Creech I read. It's what made me want to read all of her books. It's called Ruby Holler. And it is a book about two orphans and their adventures. And it was, as I recall, it was just really wonderful. And then one other book, doesn't have a dust jacket, but is Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library. I read this for a readathon that ACOS hosted last summer. It might have been S'mores and Mayhem readathon. It was recommended to me originally by Elizabeth Tyree, and I thought it was fantastic. It's just really, it's a good book about books and libraries, and if you are a bookish person, which I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, then you should pick this up. It's a lot of fun. So those are all the middle grade books that I got. Again, that second stack are for me to give away to middle school teachers or our little free library. And the first stack are ones that I would like to read first to either keep, or then I will pass them on after I read them. So that's all I have for this video. I've still got 3 more segments left to film of my summer book hauls, and I hope to have those for you very soon. So I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.